At least we know they're just like us. Deep down, just true degenerates. They got money in the bank, but there ain't nothing like hitting a bet, Dunny. Some people just gotta feel it. They gotta feel something.
Amen to
Another
that.
one for the world, another one for the listeners, and maybe for the girls. See, I can't dribble a ball, but I can fiddle with y'all eardrums.
Episode number 7 of the Third Leg Podcast. I am your host, Riley Warren. Alongside me is my co-host, Dr. James Donovan. How are you doing today, brother?
Pretty good. Long work week's finally done. I'm ready to talk about some sports.
Yes, sir. Today, I want to start off by talking about the Detroit Degenerates. Big story everyone's talking about. 4 Detroit Lions are suspended. 2 are off the team. Quintez Cephas and CJ Moore. Jamison Williams and Stanley Berryhill are suspended for 6 games. They didn't bet on the NFL. They bet on some college, so they got 6 games instead of the whole year. What do you make of this, Donnie? What's going on here?
It's just crazy to see. Like, okay, Jameson Williams, obviously we had very big high hopes for him this year, and now we're not going to get to see it for 6 games because he wanted to bet on, I'm assuming, college football because it wasn't the NFL that he was betting on. And he just couldn't wait till he got off the Lions practice facility or NFL site, whichever it was, and now he's suspended for 6 games. So we get to sit there and go, okay, what if we had JMO? What if we had JMO? Does this change what we do in the draft? All that fun jazz.
Let's not forget that we traded up to get him while he was hurt, knowing we are going to wait basically a whole season for him. And then his first season back, healthy, and he's not going to be there the first 6 games.
Luckily, we'll get to see him in the preseason. It sounds like the suspension doesn't start till like 0-0-0 of the last preseason game. So hopefully, he gets to show out and show us that like what can happen starting in Game 7 of this year. It's definitely terrible and horrible to see that he's going to be suspended. Hopefully, he gets his head on straight and good old Dan Campbell is talking to him about like, hey, you can't be doing this shit. Like, stop. We need to.
Hey, at least at least we know they're just like us. Deep down, just true degenerates. They got money in the bank, but there ain't nothing like hitting a bet, Dunny. Some people just gotta feel it. They gotta feel something.
Amen to that. I have always wondered, like, okay, if you're you're a superstar or you're just in the league, any of the leagues, can you bet on things? Like, obviously, we know you can't bet your sport, you can't bet your team, but can you bet on the other sports? And apparently, you can as long as you're not on the league that you're in, a site that is affiliated with them. Which
Yeah, I think they like updated the rules. They didn't really tell too many people, but they updated the rules where NFL players can gamble and they can be on the sports books. They cannot gamble on NFL whatsoever. Just due to the fact that they can have insider information, they know what's going on depth chart wise, who's sitting. They know a little more, so you can't really bet on the sport that you're playing, which is understandable. It would be like allowing referees to bet on games that they're not participating in. It's just at the end of the day, lines just get blurred and you can't have it happen. So that's just kind of where it is. You can't bet on the NFL. Understandable. I think getting a 6-game suspension for gambling on a sport that isn't the NFL is kind of whack. Just like because you were on a Lions facility, like he could have been working out, training, getting recovery, whatever, and he's on the sports book that's affiliated with your team. And you can't use that app dependent on your location. It just seems kind of wild to me.
No, I agree with you. Like everywhere you go, that's all you see now is since it's been legalized in Michigan is every sports book is getting in with every single team. It's just a matter of time before it becomes more and more prevalent, as the United States starts to open up. I think we're over halfway now for at least sports betting. Um, it it doesn't make sense to me, but hey, there's rules and you got to follow them, right? You signed that dotted line for a reason.
Hey, you're a rookie. read the rules. You're getting paid millions. I understand that you should still be able to gamble, but at the end of the day, you haven't even played a full season yet, buddy. Let's focus on football, the NFL right now. Let's not try to, you know, get a couple units up before the season starts, you know?
Yeah, and like I'm wondering if he was aware of it, right? If this was something he knew that he shouldn't be doing, or if he didn't know and now this is a big surprise to him.
I
Because
doubt it.
if he knew, like just text your boy, like, hey, put this on this. You know, I can't do it right now. The game's about to start. Put this on this. I got you if it hits. You know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't think that they knew the stipulation of not being able to bet within like your facilities. It makes sense that the fact that they stayed away from the NFL made they knew enough about the rules of gambling where they're like, all right, we can't bet on the NFL, but we could bet on college football. But they didn't take it. They didn't take it to the next step, knowing you can't bet on the college football if you're on like a Lions facility, which sucks and really doesn't make sense to me. But at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Yep. Now we just get to wait till week 7 to see our Lions team at full strength.
Hey, it'll just give us a little more time if they lose a game or two, or we're like we're not at full strength. You know, it doesn't really count. The season doesn't really count until
Right.
week 7.
Jameson's not in yet. The offense doesn't look the same.
Exactly. JMO's not in. We're going to be a lot different week 7.
Amen. Amen. Do you think it'll change anything we do as far as like drafting wise? Do you think we now take a receiver because of
I,
this?
I don't think this is going to prioritize a receiver, but if one falls that's on our board in rounds 3 to 5, we might take a receiver that we didn't. We might push a receiver up on the board, I guess I'll say, and take them in 3 to 5 rather than maybe like an interior or defensive player. Now we're going to have a receiver. I can see that happening. I can also see us not moving up on wide receivers and then just picking up unrestricted free agents that didn't get signed and see what they can do in camp or something like that. Because we only need one guy. I think one or two guys. We'll see what the room is. Because at the end of the day, that was 3 receivers, taken from us. Williams, Berryhill, and Cephas. Cephas is gone. Berryhill and Williams won't be back till week 7. So we will have to fill. We'll have to get some more heads within that room, but I don't think that we're going to have to waste draft picks necessarily, or at least not early ones.
I agree wholeheartedly with you. If it come to where like we're 50-50 on where do we go, I think maybe we might lean receiver in the later rounds. But I don't think like we completely just they're leveraged way ahead of everyone else. I do like the idea of potentially getting the unrestricted free agent. There's a couple good ones out there, or at least guys that have been around the league for a while that can step in, and they're not going to play every down, but if you need them to catch a ball, they can. And then potentially even some undrafted free agents, right? Like there's some rookies every year that go undrafted, and hey, give them a workout. See
For
what
sure.
happens.
Give them the Bill Belichick workout, see what they got, see if they got any intangibles, and see if he can roll into the league with it on a very low contract. Won't have to waste too much money. And then at the end of the day, maybe he pans out and is a stud. So
Right. Diamond in
I,
the rough.
yeah, you know how the Lions have been. We've been finding some studs. So hopefully they can do that again. I'm a little disappointed at the end of the day, but I kind of understand that it's not like the whole Kelvin Ridley situation. Although it was like 1 year ago. It was like around the same time last year. It was like 13 months or something since that happened. Since the last time someone's got in trouble and then they just pop 5 people in one day.
Right.
So it's
And
kind of crazy.
so I'm wondering because they hire like a agency to kind of monitor this as far as like things that go in and out via the broadband that they use for the NFL
Yeah.
sites. I wonder if like okay, this is the yearly report and this is who got flagged and okay, now this is when the suspension happens versus getting it right when it happens.
Yeah,
And
I'm
they
sure
wait
that's how it
until
happens. I'm sure they do like an investigation and shit like that before they hand out any judgment. But I'm sure the Lions were. I actually seen that the Lions had staff, like a handful of staff that also got released for sports gambling.
Oh,
Like
damn. We
it
had a
wasn't
whole.
just the players. Like this was like a thing within the organization. Like uh what are they uh like different coaches and strength coaches and just like people within the organization that were also sports betting, and
The guys
most
who
of
move the
most of them
balls.
were the NFL. So
Right.
like they're just done. They're gone. You'll
That
never be on another team again.
we can say the 2022 Lions were the degenerates of the NFL. That's for
The
sure.
Detroit D-Gens, baby.
We're gonna have
All
to make some merch.
2023. Yeah, absolutely. Some Detroit D-Gen merch.
But speaking of draft, big week this week. Coming up next Thursday, April 27th, round one of the draft starts. Can't wait for that. Getting hyped. We're gonna make a couple videos on it, I think, right, Riley?
Yeah, we are. We're going to do one of the first round mock draft of just the entire first round for all the teams. And then we're going to do one specifically for the Lions. And we're going to upload both of those videos before the draft. And then we'll come on the podcast Tuesday, tentatively Tuesday, and let you guys know how all that went down and link it over to you guys so you can check it out.
Definitely. I'm looking forward to that. Maybe make some spicy moves, see what we can get going.
Yeah, 100%. I'm really excited to do it too, just to see how the board plays out, like in the end of the first round and second round with how many picks we got.
Right. And when it comes down to it, like, okay, you and I were football fans, right? Like that's our go-to. It's exciting to get to talk about that draft because it is, it's the one weekend I sit down and I'm like, okay, this is gonna take a long ass time, but we're gonna watch. We're gonna
Yes, sir.
watch.
It's just like doing your draft for fantasy football. It's a commitment. It's a whole day thing, baby.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
All right, let's move on to the NBA.
Okay. All right. Playoffs going on. Right, we got the Celtics Hawks. They played today. Celtics were up 2-0, and then the Hawks stole a game today. So Trey Young and DeJounte Murray, I think, combined for like 56 or 57 points, something like that. Trey Young had 32. Jaylen Brown for the Celtics didn't show up, only had 15. The Hawks as a team played well. I think 7 of the 9 players that got minutes scored in double figures. So you can't be mad if you're a Hawks fan today.
Yeah, at the end of the day, if you're a Hawks fan, just getting a win against Boston is big for you. You'll take that any day of the week.
Definitely, it's not going to
Nope.
be a sweep like a lot of people were thinking.
Yeah, no sweep. Who would ever say that? I still see that series being a 4-1. I think this is the only game they got. Derek White and Jaylen Brown had terrible shooting nights. Marcus Smart had 24, and his PRA is usually set at 19.5 total. So he came up big just for them to keep it within 10 points most of this game. I don't see that happening again. Just a quick shout out, Al Horford, you're a bomb.
I was going to ask you how Big Al do.
Big Al didn't do shit. He's somehow a center with 4 rebounds.
Yep, the only starting big man in his rotation.
28 minutes, 4 rebounds. Good lordy.
Crazy. Capella had a double tonight, so he's finally got to play like himself. So that's good to see if you're a Hawks fan.
Yeah, I mean your 2 best players go for 57 total, and then Capella gets his double. I mean that's the recipe for Atlanta to do big things. And then Bogdanovich is like a hooper. He's an actual hooper. He gets buckets. He's one of the better 6 men in the league, I would say, honestly.
Yeah, definitely.
Scoring wise, I mean, he went 6 for 8 tonight, 3 for 4 from 3. He only gets like 20 minutes, so he does what he can.
Did you know that this Bogdanovich and the Pistons Bogdanovich are not related?
No fucking way.
Right? Like, a patient of mine told me this, and I was like, "You got to be kidding me! I thought they were brothers. I
Is
thought
Bogdanovich
because
just a normal name?
apparently where they're from. Yeah, it's Bogdan and Bojan, Bojan.
Oh,
It's literally
shit.
so close for their first names too, and I'm like, they're not related. That you got to be kidding me! But yeah, not related, or
I
at
had
least
no
not
idea.
brothers, which I thought they were.
Right. Yeah, I had no idea.
All right. Other game going on right now. Cavs versus the Knicks. Series tied 1-1 as we're talking. Then it's getting pretty close to halftime. I think it's even past halftime now. But
You
when
there,
it was
Don?
getting to halftime, the Knicks were already up 10. Looking like they're taking care of business at home. Madison Square Garden is popping off. I wonder if
Hello?
Julius Randle's going to bully ball some guys again tonight. What do you think?
Hello? All
Uh-oh.
right. Yeah,
You hear me?
we just freezed out. Yeah, we're back.
Okay.
Let me write this down. We can just
15 minutes.
15 minutes. Cut. All right. Where were we?
What did you hear last?
The last thing I heard before you cut out was we have the Cavs and the Knicks.
Okay. All right. So the other game going on tonight, we have the Cavs and the Knicks. Series is tied 1-1 right now. Games going on. As we're talking, it's getting close to halftime. I think it might already be in the second half right now. But the Knicks were up 10, and they look like they had the game under control. Good to see. Madison Square Garden is electric for the playoffs. So the fact that the Knicks are showing out and not going to get booed out of their own stadium is good to see. I haven't seen any of the clips, but I can only imagine Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson are the two doing their work.
Yeah, my bad. My mic fell off. First Knicks.
All right, so we got the Cavs versus the Knicks is the other game going on right now. The series is tied 1-1. They're going to Madison Square Garden. As it stands right now, like as we're talking, there's about 4 minutes left in the game. Knicks are up 26. So they're taking, control of the series. Julius Randle is struggling tonight, but RJ Barrett decided he could play basketball again. So so that's good to see if you're a Knicks fan. Donovan Mitchell for the Cavs got 22 and LeVert has 17. But other than that, everyone else is pretty much struggling. So not good if you're a Cavs fan. Like we said, Donovan Mitchell's got to score close to, 35 to 40 points a game if they're going to compete. And with 4 minutes to go in the game, he's at 22. So it's a
Unlucky.
recipe for not too many good things for the Cavs. They're at 70 points with 4 minutes to go. So, like,
Holy shit.
that's a low scoring affair for them for sure. I would love to be at Madison Square Garden right now with how electric that atmosphere's got to be.
Bro, they get crazy.
Yep.
Crazy for the playoffs.
And they haven't even had like a good team in a while, so they've got some pent up
Dude,
energy.
there are
ready to
literal 50 to 70-year-old men that are screaming their asses off right now.
go. And Spike Lee.
And Spike Lee is going nuts. Guaranteed he's talking shit right now.
Absolutely. I did see a trade, like there was like people talking about trade rumors that potentially getting rid of RJ Barrett, sending him to the Pelicans and bringing BI up to the Knicks,
That would be disgusting.
right? You team up Zion and RJ, and then you bring Brandon Ingram to team up with Brunson and Randall. I don't know. I don't know if I like it or not.
If I was Zion, I would be pissed if BI was leaving me. Especially if that's in like a 1-for-1 type thing. Not
Right.
a chance. BI has been such a bucket this year.
It's true.
Especially with CJ playing like shit. You need BI right now. Let him have CJ.
Right. No, I agree. There was another one going around today about a 3-team trade for Trae Young, or involving Trae Young, I guess I should say. It was with the Hawks, Trailblazers, and Sixers. Sixers send like Maxey, Tobias Harris, and some other people off the bench to Atlanta. Atlanta sends Trae Young to Portland, and Portland sends Dame to Philly to team up with Embiid. Yeah.
If Dame got to Philly, bruh.
Right? Like, good night. That would be
I
so
would be
much fun to
happy for
watch.
Dame.
Me too.
Get to go to the playoffs and you actually have a chance to like get out of the first round.
Right. And like if James Harden decided to stay, okay, now you got James Harden, Dame, and Embiid. How are they not the favorites? But
Hey.
Obviously.
Speaking of Embiid, is he kicking nuts out there?
Yeah, if you watch that video, Nick Claxton catches the lob, dunks over, or doesn't really dunk over him, but
No.
in the vicinity of Embiid, I guess I should say. And Embiid falls to the ground, and then Claxton steps over top of him like he's Allen Iverson or something.
I was gonna say, does he think that's Ty Lue?
Right, exactly. And then Embiid, tries to kick him in the boys, but does not hit. Luckily, I guess. And then they had to review it. They didn't decide to kick Embiid out. This is one day after the whole Draymond situation. So
Ndamukong Suh stomp? Yeah.
right. But Embiid didn't get kicked out. Later in the game, though, Harden gets kicked out for something that is like, what? This is just normal basketball move. He's been doing this his entire career. Looked like he might have, got a little bit into the guy's midsection, but I couldn't believe that they tossed him out for that. It's like they're
That's
trying
the
to make up for it.
first time I've seen someone get kicked out of a game for a nut tag. Put it in the books.
Right, and it wasn't really like a nut tag, like he didn't actually. Well, I mean, the guy went down like he got him, but it didn't look like he actually got him.
Yeah, he had the ball in his hand. It was like a rip move. It wasn't like he's playing defense and tagged him, or someone's going up for a dunk and he tags him in the nuts or something. It was like a legit basketball play. But I feel like that was like a makeup call almost for the Embiid non-ejection. I seen Golden State fans literally blow up on Twitter that Embiid didn't get kicked out because Draymond got kicked out and suspended. But Draymond literally stepped on his chest. And that's not the first time he's done shit like this. So it's just like an easy automatic get the fuck out of here type thing.
Right, and step is a very kind way of putting it, I would say.
Let me say a Ndamukong Suh stomp is what it was.
Right, he looked like he was playing that fair game where you hit the hammer and see the bell go up, but with his foot. Like he was trying to set that thing to the moon. Good God.
I can say, Sabonis, why are you grabbing my man's leg like that, though? You grab my leg, I might Ndamukong Suh stomp you too. I'm not going to lie. Just out of instinct. Like, why are you grabbing my foot?
I will agree, like, Sabonis should have gotten some kind of punishment as well from the league, whether it be a fine or something like that, because he did kind of, instigate. But Draymond, you gotta be smarter than that, dude. Like, come on.
Draymond's smart? What are you talking about? He went to Michigan State, bro.
Yep. Good old Saginaw. I think he went to Saginaw High.
He's straight Sag nasty, baby.
Yep. But hey, the Warriors showed up last night without Draymond, kind of played for Draymond and won the game. So they're down 2-1 in the series. Still the betting favorite to win the series, which is kind of crazy, The Oracle, if they can get home court advantage by stealing one in Sacramento, you got to believe they'll tie it or they'll win it in 6. But I don't know. It's going to be tough.
100%. If they win the next 2 games, the series over. Like, they're not. The Kings ain't coming back down 3-2. I don't see it happen.
Definitely not against Game 6 Clay.
No, that's literally the final boss. Game 6 over. Clay, bro.
Bet is over.
Yeah, GG's. What about talking about over? What about the LeBron Dillon Brooks shit?
Dillon Brooks, what in the hell are you doing? Like, if you're the Grizzlies organization, you're sitting this man down going, boy, you better calm yourself right now. You are poking a bear.
Hey, he said he likes to poke the bear, man. He's not scared. You got to show him. You got to put 40 on his head before he respects you. And He's never dropped 40 in his fucking life, so I don't know how you can say that. But at the end of the day, you win the game.
Right.
You're kind of feeling yourself.
I guess so. You're the home favorite and you win the game. Congratulations.
But you're going to talk shit to LeBron.
LeBron James. Call him too old. It's kind of like when MJ came back and wasn't wearing 23. And then I think it was the Magic they were playing in the playoffs. So that's not Mike. That's not 2-3 over there.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, all right.
Check this out.
Get me my jersey. Let's go. And then made it a series. But yeah, so I'll definitely be betting LeBron James over on his points next game, and I'll be laddering up to probably 45-50 if they let me go that high.
Dude, Dillon Brooks said he could beat him in a one-on-one. Dead ass. He literally said he could beat LeBron James in one-on-one, and he struggles to score 10 points a game.
No, I'm sorry. No.
Like, you saying too much. You could say whatever you want in that locker room, but you bring up one-on-one shit, just get out of here.
Right. And like he's supposed to be this good defender. He's like Lance Stevenson. Like
No,
that's what
he's
I
a shorter Draymond in my eyes. Or he's
um
Pat Beverly. He's Pat Beverly. That's what he is. He's Pat Beverly 2.0.
uh I think it was Windhorst for ESPN called him Diet Draymond Green.
That's good. That is good.
Yeah. That
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 ass.
was a
That's
pretty good
that's the
one.
comparison I got. He's like a Draymond Green type player. He expects everyone on his team to do well, and he's going to be that little guy talking shit the whole time while Big Brother's, scoring the points.
Right. So that series is tied 1-1 now. Going to LA for games 3 and 4. LeBron's going to come out with, chip on the shoulder, monster. I think they take game 3 pretty easily. And then we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. The Heat Bucks game was interesting. The Bucks win without Giannis handedly.
I called
Yeah, you did call it. So you talk about it. What'd you like about that before the game?
it. So I just heard something. It's like a zigzag betting is what they call it for the NBA playoffs, where after game 1, if game 2 is a home favorite and that lost in game 1, you bet them to cover in game 2. So your brother and you were in a group chat with me and asked, who do we like for tonight's games? I said Bucks to cover. Jordan
Dead
asked
on.
without Giannis, and I said, "Yep."
Send
And
it.
they won by 16 without Giannis.
That was an ass whooping. The Heat played terrible. Jimmy Buckets, he still did his thing, but everyone else, terrible performance. Harrow's out with a broken hand, so they had to have someone step up with another 25 minutes. That's Gabe Vincent, Oladipo, Strus minutes, and if they're not hitting their threes, they're not doing anything. That's pretty much what they're there for. And if you look at that team, all they have is Bam. They have no big man, and they were getting feasted on by Brooke Lopez.
Where's
Brooke
Udonis
Lopez,
Haslam? Yeah.
he's in the old people home, bro. Leave him alone. But Brooke Lopez had like 17 points halfway through the second.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was eating them up. If you look at their lineup, they literally have nobody, no other bigs. Nobody gets minutes.
Yeah, you're right. I'm looking at it right now.
Dude,
Yeah.
they have Bam, and then they have Cody Zeller. Dead
Yep.
ass. That is all they have for big men. And you see Cody Zeller out there, he looks like a Make-A-Wish kid got on the court. He does not look like he should be playing professional basketball.
Right. Where's Duncan Robinson? Don't the Heat still pay him?
Yeah, they still pay him, but he is in shambles somewhere.
Good God. That boy, talk about getting rich quick and then just cashing in and saying,
Facts,
I'm out.
bro. Well, once I got Jimmy Butler, it was a little different.
Right. I mean, good for Duncan, signed the biggest contract by an undrafted free agent that did play again. Like,
yeah, he gets pretty much 0 minutes, no tick.
Yep.
Tough to see.
But now that Heat Bucks series tied 1-1 going to Miami. So we'll see if Giannis plays. If he plays, obviously I like the Bucks to win. If he doesn't, it's gonna depend.
Well, the crazy thing about that is, so Giannis didn't play and they won by 16. That like skewed the line so far away from the Heat that they're plus 330. Going back home, 1-1.
Right.
Which is weird, like a weird line. Like, if that wasn't a 16-point game and it was a close game, the Heat's line, it's like a toss-up at that point because Giannis isn't playing. But based off of one game, no matter what, if Giannis is playing or not, plus 330. I don't not like it. Although I'm saying I really don't think the Heat have a chance based off of their big men and their performance, and it feels like the Bucks kind of already have like their game plan and it's working. I don't see the Heat being able to stop their bigs unless the Heat shoot 60% from the 3-point line or something like that. Some crazy statistical performance. I don't think the Heat win. The line's plus 330 for a reason, but it's just intriguing because it's tied series, star players out, and they're going back home.
Right. They did what they're supposed to do on the road, right? You win one.
Yeah, they got their one.
In their for the teams that have split, right, they're the highest, or I guess I would say the best odds or most favorable payout to win a series, to win the series, especially if Giannis isn't going to play the rest of the game. So who knows? It could be something that lingers on, and maybe doesn't play games 3, 4, 5.
For sure. I mean, if they win the next game, I don't see him playing game 4 because they can tie it up 2-2, go back home, and then he can play.
Right.
Type thing. But if they lose, if he doesn't play game 3, they lose. I mean, he's playing the rest of the series.
Oh, for sure. Come hell or high water, I guarantee that.
Yeah, he's playing, and you're not going to stop him from playing either.
Nope. One game we didn't talk about that happened as well: Suns versus Clippers. Kawhi, what the hell happened?
What happened? Dude, I literally have no idea. I didn't even know he wasn't playing until probably like 3 or 4 minutes into the game. And then I realized he's not playing. I see a bunch of memes of him. It's like load management and shit, and PG's there trying to like ice his knees for him and shit. I don't know what's happening. People are calling him a fraud, saying he's not a superstar or the worst superstar, whatever they're saying.
Yeah.
It's weird to see, but there's got to be a reason, like the team wise, like they're either not letting him play or it's like part of a regiment for him.
There's got to be, right? There,
you know what I
has to
mean?
be
Like
something.
he's not just pulling the Zion and not playing. Like something's going on and it's just not getting leaked. So I don't want to give him shit because he could actually be hurt, and they could just be trying to like milk how bad he actually tweaked something or something like that. So I don't really know what's happening at all, but at the end of the day, seeing Kawhi not play in a must-win game is pretty tough to see.
Definitely. And I think it was Stephen A. Smith and Kendrick Perkins were talking today about who would you rather have, Kawhi or Kyrie, and both said Kyrie Irving when it comes playoff time.
Well, that's a little different. When you say come playoff time, it is a little different. But Kawhi is known to make these crazy playoff runs. I mean, Kawhi is a playoff dude as well.
If he's
not talked about it a lot, but he is a playoff guy.
If he plays, he can carry a team to an NBA championship, like he did it in Toronto. But yeah, he's the only superstar that sits out games regularly. Not a top 5 guy, right? Like
for sure.
Zion obviously sits out games because he just doesn't
sits out seasons, baby.
Right.
Seasons.
It's true. And then Stephen A. also called Kawhi the worst superstar ever. Like, huh?
That's tough. That's tough. There's been some pretty shitty superstars. I'm sure I call Joakim Noah out just from personal, right off the top. Joakim Noah is probably ranking above him.
And that wasn't even, we didn't even think about that one for too long.
No, that just came right to my head. Carlos Boozer can go up there too. I don't care.
I agree.
Those were all stars. I don't like it, like I said, but at the end of the day, we don't know what the fuck's going on. So I don't want to say anything too crazy about him, and then it comes out he's actually hurt, and then I'm a dickhead.
I think I know what it was though. DraftKings got a hold of him and said, "Hey, we got way too much money on you to outscore Kevin Durant. We're gonna need you to take off."
Oh my god, I forgot about that bet. What happens with that?
3. Yeah, he didn't play.
Does that count?
Yeah.
Did they void that though?
I don't know.
They didn't even play. Oh my god! Imagine taking KD and it goes through because he sat out a game. Right. Kawhi sat out a game.
He might not even play the next game. So,
if he doesn't play the next game, then something's wrong.
Right. If he doesn't play the next game, series is over.
Yeah, I mean, you had Powell drop 42 or something like that, and then you had Westbrook drop 30 plus, and they still lost.
Yep, Booker went off.
Booker with 45. In the
it's fun to watch him
looks
play.
Good.
It's fun to watch him play when, Kevin Durant, everyone just goes to KD, and then Booker gets to sit back and go, all right, I'm going to thrash you right here. I'm going to thrash you right there.
Yep. Have a few people run around, set picks. You get the matchup you want. Clear out ball.
Yep.
Clear out. Give him the old Kobe. Clear out. The fuck out of the way.
Go stand. Get your popcorn. Watch this.
Get in the corner. Spot up.
If I hit you, don't miss.
Exactly. All right, NBA talk done. Let's get into this Max Scherzer bullshit.
So, Max Scherzer, beloved former Detroit Tiger, now pitching for the Mets, was ejected yesterday in the fourth inning for a foreign sticky substance on his hand and his glove, but the hand in particular. Um, Comes with an automatic 10-game suspension, but what's crazy is it was kind of a whole situation that built up to this. Scherzer was, looked at a few times, told, "Hey, your stuff's too sticky. Go wash it off." So he went into the dugout, washed it off with alcohol in front of an MLB official, reapplied the rosin, and then grabbed his sweat and put it back on there. And with rosin, as you add sweat in, you get a sticky substance. Well, it just so happens that Max Scherzer might sweat the most out of anyone in the MLB, so he gets the stickiest substance. Um, so he pitched an inning or two. They told him, "Hey, this is too much on the hands." He went and washed the hands, went back out. They looked at his glove next. They said, "Hey, this is too sticky on the glove." So he got a new glove this time, and then finally washed his hands again, reapplied the rosin, sweat, boom, gets ejected. He, in front of an MLB official the entire time, is immediately going off. It's rosin. It's rosin. I swear on my kid's life, it's just rosin, which is a MLB approved substance. It's the only thing you can really put on your hands. And now he's suspended 10 games. Completely legal suspension for 10 games, sitting out 2 starts. Just absolutely crazy.
My my biggest beef with it is that they say it's a foreign substance, but they know the mixture of the substance, which is the rosin plus sweat. So it's not fucking foreign.
Right.
You know what it is. You know exactly what it is, and you know how to prevent it. You either take away the rosin or you let it go. Like there's nothing else you can do. You're gonna sweat on your hands regardless, whether you grab your neck or your wrists or wherever you want to touch your sweat. Like at the end of the day, you're gonna be sweaty. You're playing fucking sport. So I don't know how you can take, like, I don't know even where they go from here because it's a known thing now. So every pitcher is gonna try to get a little bit of extra stick. You need a little bit of extra spin, and you're gonna do it because it's not cheating. It's in the rules that you can use the rosin, and there's nowhere in there it says anything about sweat.
Right.
So what foreign substance is it? Number one, and number two, what are you gonna do to prevent it the rest of the year? And you said this. You told me this before. Every time someone's got kicked out for a foreign substance, it's been the same fucking referee every time.
Yep. There's only been 3 pitchers that have been ejected for the sticky foreign substances, and it's the same umpire, Phil Cousy, every single time.
Phil Cousy needs to get laid. Phil Cousy needs to fucking lax.
RELAX.
There's already too many changes going on in the MLB. Let's not start fucking with the pitchers a little more. Like this
Right.
has been going on for as long as rosin has been a part of the league. Like it's not like Scherzer, Jesus, knows, like, or was the first one to figure this out.
Right.
Like this happens probably every game, whether it's one pitcher or both pitchers, starters, people coming in. Like it's like impossible to monitor this unless the pitcher's like throwing really well. Then you're gonna start looking like, all right, let me see if you got stick on your hands or shit like that. Like it's like already after the fact. Like you can't do it before every inning. It's after the inning. So
Yep.
I just feel like it's this weird gray area that they're not going to be able to figure out, and they're just going to be kicking random people out.
Right, and what makes it even worse is like Scherzer has since the whole thing started like 3 years ago or so. Scherzer has been one of the pitchers that just calls out everyone like, if you're using this stuff, you're terrible, you're cheater, blah blah blah, and then he's the one that gets suspended for it. He's going to appeal the suspension, and you would assume that he has to have a good argument for getting away, like getting out of it. Um, at what point, are you checking these guys and then you ask the official that's in the dugout with them, like, hey, Did he do it properly? Yes. Okay, then you're good to go. Like, what more do you want from him?
I mean, I think the only way you can go is you're checking bags and equipment before they get to the locker room or before they get to the dugout. It's like the UFC getting checked like gloves and shit before
Right.
you get into the octagon. Like that's what you're gonna have to do before each inning. Whether like they might have to like double step it. So like someone checks all the bags and shit before it gets into the bullpen. Everything's checked before and after, shit like that. And then before every inning, you get the hand and glove check or something like that. Because walking out onto the mound and like causing a scene and shit like that, that's not good for the league. It just makes it look like the integrity of the league is like fluctuating with pitchers. And that's not the direction you want to go. You kind of just want to nip it in the butt and say like no more. I mean,
Right.
at the end of the day, though, it's one fucking umpire. So maybe we need to talk to him more than we need to talk to the players.
100% agree. I'm glad to see it wasn't spider tack because that's like the super sticky stuff that we're getting caught using. I really like Scherzer, but it'll be interesting to see what the league does. I hope they make it right and say, you know what, he did everything properly, no suspension.
I'm just interested to see what they do with this specific case, and then if they don't overrule it and they stick with it, what they implement going forward. Because that's like if you just don't do anything going forward and you're just going to try to randomly pick people off like they're doing now, then it's just going to be a shit show and you're barely going to catch anyone doing it. And it creates this like gray area.
I agree. Um, Phil Cousy, good God,
Phil
the
Cousy,
one guy the
baby.
entire time. Tigers. Speaking of, Max Scherzer was a Tiger. Tigers. We haven't talked about them in a minute, but they were on a 5-game winning streak when we did our last episode. They have lost since then. I think they even lost today 2-1 against the
Yes, sir.
Orioles. But they were during that span. They had a 3-game in a row walk off win like that. That's exciting baseball to watch. I love to see that. Um, Javier Baez still struggled during that winning streak. He actually got pulled during I think the first or second inning because he took off from second with only one out, didn't tag up, and then got
Dope.
got thrown out. Like, come on, bro, you're a MLB player. You hit a double with one out, and then the very next batter you take off sprinting for home. Like, go sit on the bench.
Dude, the Tigers fans ate him alive. They were waiting for him to do something stupid like that so they could get on his ass, and he gave him a reason.
Yep. And like we said, they did lose today to the Orioles. They had the lead and then blew it again. Baez, in the in the eighth inning, gets a single, an RBI.
Ninth.
Ninth inning, he gets a single, gets an RBI, and then steals second base. And I lose my prize picks because of that. So,
Literally,
uh,
hitter fantasy score. He has nothing. Then gets a single RBI and then steals a base.
I was okay with the single and
Fucking
RBI.
disgusting.
The stolen base, that's what did it.
That's
Son of a bitch.
nasty.
Yep. Um, Speaking of like some gambling stuff, Fernando Tatis Jr. is back yesterday is when he made his debut. He's playing in tonight's game. He's back from his PED suspension. He's a shortstop. Well, going to play outfield this year for the San Diego Padres. He's 0 for 6 with 3 strikeouts so far this season. Tomorrow, place it now. I'm calling it. Tomorrow he hits his first home run. So the odds aren't out yet, but I'm calling it. He's going to hit his first home run tomorrow. You can clip it.
Clip it. Tatis coming off them PEDs with the homer. I like it. Like he's gotta have a get back game one of these times, right? He's already struck out 3 times.
Right. You can't be 0 for the entire season. You got to do something. So
That's what
yeah,
I'm saying. And he was balling out in the minors.
hitting like
Obviously hasn't
5 something.
translated too well initially, but I
He'll
like
get
it.
going. He'll get going. He's too good.
Who's he playing tomorrow?
He's going against the Diamondbacks. The starting pitcher for the Diamondbacks is Merrill Kelly. In his career, Tatis is something like 7 for 19, 3 home runs against him. So I really
Sheesh. I
like the
like
matchup.
that. I like
really
that.
matchup.
I fuck with that.
Yes, sir. Can't wait till we come back and see this and be like, oh, yeah, there we go.
0 for 4, 3 strikeouts.
Well, I was a little wrong.
Oh, shit.
Hopefully not, but hey, you never know. That's why it's called gambling, right?
Exactly. That's why we're the Detroit Degenerates, baby.
God, that's such a good name. I can't wait to get the merch on that.
Dude, I'll start mocking it up, but that's gonna be legendary.
Yes, sir.
All right, buddy, let's wrap this shit up. Unless you got anything else.
Nope. I just checked. Tatis is 1 for 3 tonight, so he got his first hit.
Hey, we're on the board. He's gonna be warmed up for tomorrow then.
That's right. He's gonna hit a bomb tomorrow. Let's
yes,
go.
sir. All right, guys, don't forget to check out our YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, all the above. We're on Spotify and Apple Play or Apple or iTunes as well, sorry. And SoundCloud for the Real Degens. We will be back with episode number 8. Don't forget, we are going to upload the NFL draft stuff prior to us uploading the episode 8 on Tuesday. So just be on the lookout for that. And until next time, boys, we'll see you.
A big shout out to we got to the 100 subscribers on YouTube. So thank you.
Oh, yeah. Big shout out to you guys. Thank you for the hundo on YouTube. Much love, everybody. We do appreciate it.
Yes, sir. All right. Peace.
Peace.
Another one for Tommy boy. Another one for the world. Another one for the listeners. And maybe